Hello everyone, my name's Tyler and this is episode 3 of Fortnite Battle Royale Ideas, a series in which I will go over possible additions and changes to Fortnite and how they would affect the game. Let me know what you think of today's idea and if you have any further ideas in the comments below. This video idea comes from Brian H, who comments, "There needs to be a way to experiment with different sensitivity settings before starting a match. With multiple settings for mouse, aiming, and scopes, it's hard to get everything dialed in." I couldn't agree more. Due to the fact that there's multiple sensitivity settings and the developers seem to change how they would work with a lot of their updates, it's really hard to find what sensitivities work best for you. Having to adjust your sensitivity in-game is problematic for many reasons. One, you can't do anything in-game while you're in the settings menu, obviously that's not good. And two, there's really no way of knowing what sensitivity is best until you play with the right one. And to play with the right one, more than likely you're going to have to play with a bunch that don't work, feel slow or uncontrollable, or end up being the deciding factor in your death. And with a game like Fortnite, it's not something you can change while you're watching a kill cam, then spawn back into the action immediately, and get to try out the new sensitivity to see if it works. This problem is compounded further when you add in the fact that there are multiple sensitivity options. In a game like Fortnite, your death matters, because once you die, it's over. And practicing your aim is not something easy to do within a match of Battle Royale. A lot of times you want to stay stealthy and avoid the fight, but when you're in the heat of battle, you want to make sure everything is honed in and feels smooth. And this is compounded yet again because you might feel like the sensitivity you chose feels right until you're sniping, or have to turn on someone behind you, or have to make the adjustments at far range, or simply spray and pray from the hip. All of these engagements are handled differently, and figuring out how to balance your sensitivities to accommodate your playstyle and the situations you're put in is tricky to say the least. I'm proposing the idea of a firing range, a dedicated space you would go by yourself or with your party members to hone in these things. There are many examples of games that have done this before. Make this firing range a small area compared to the Battle Royale size map. The developers could even cut this out of part of the existing map so they wouldn't have to design a new area, though a new area would be cool. Make it large enough you could practice AR shots at range and mess with bullet fall off of snipers. Add in stationary targets that would fall down or disappear for a short time after taking enough damage that would kill a player in game. Add some moving targets on a track, some with different speeds, that would have predictable movement so you could practice leading your target and figure out how fast or slow you want your sensitivity so you can track them. Add some in that are behind cover that maybe are harder to hit. I think that they would have to add in every weapon type into the firing range so you could adjust your sensitivities to suit your needs for aim down sights and hip fire, as well as managing recoil for the SMG, the AR, shotgun burst, sniper, launcher, all the weapons in the game. That way you can get a good balance for what sensitivity feels right for the most weapons and circumstances. There could even be a time trial with targets set up throughout the map, some moving, some stationary, some maybe even having more health. Maybe you have to use specific gun types, or get at least one kill with every weapon type, or maybe time trial with each weapon. At the end of the round, you could be given your time and shown your accuracy stats with each weapon. Bonuses could be given for headshots, and negative bonuses for missing, or at least a way to keep track of those different stats. This would be a good way to practice and a good way to see how you can improve, whether that be landing more headshots, improving your burst fire accuracy, or what have you. They could also add in a way to backtrack your stats to keep track of your improvement, or even add global leaderboards to see how fast you can complete the course with certain weapon types compared to other players. You could even add in a mode or a way to play versus your party members in the firing range to keep track of damage stats to see how much damage you were successfully landing, adding a sort of private match, if you will. This would open up the game for a lot of experimenting and really getting to mess with stuff and having fun with friends. The idea of a firing range would be a great way to figure out what sensitivities are best for you, but I don't think the benefits stop there. It'd also be a great way to get a feel for the weapons, figure out the bullet drop off in snipers, learn the recoil patterns of different weapon types, compare damages and damage fall offs of weapon types, and a good way to test things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to test in game. Now, I can't mention the benefits of the idea without playing devil's advocate. There is most definitely something to be said about a game having a learning curve. Having a learning curve keeps a game fresh, rewards skillful players, and gives all players something to work towards no matter their level of play. A balance of a good curve is a hard thing to achieve in a multiplayer game. I think a Battle Royale style game lend themselves to this curve and do a great job. With that said, is adding a firing range the way I presented taking too much of that learning curve out of the game? I don't think so. That curve is still there, it's just not in game. And the practice range can only prepare you so much for how actual players play and how real scenarios play out. and you would still have to master the weapons and your aim within the firing range. Add in the fact that you still have to learn the map, master building, among many other things within the game. I think the idea of a firing range is a great answer to figuring out how to adjust your sensitivities without having to guess, die, make slight changes in your sensitivities, wait for the next match, die in a different type of engagement, and keep at it until you think you have it right. I also think it opens up some other possibilities within the game while allowing you to test out some new and unique things. Thank you, Brian H., for your comment. Let me know what you guys think of the idea and my implementation on it, as well as any further ideas you have for Fortnite in the comments below. If you're enjoying this series, give the video a thumbs up to show your feedback. To stay up to date with my Fortnite series and all things gaming, subscribe. This has been Toast, and I'll see you on the next video.